Hello and welcome guys. In this video on the recommendation of a viewer, we will talk about JIT mode in Tailwind CSS. For versions prior to version 3 of Tailwind CSS, there was some problems for the unused CSS and the huge file size, which caused the slow inspection and slow debugging. So it was the file size was about 12 to 15 MBs, and when you get 12 to 15 MBs file to your production so that will be a mess. So they built some solutions for these problems. The first solution was that to use the perk CSS to remove the unused CSS classes. And the second solution, Tailwind CSS built a JIT mode, which only builds the used CSS classes into your final CSS file. So there was no more burden, and your final CSS file would be about 100 KB. Now let me actually show you how the JIT mode works. And for the versions prior to version 3, you had to mention it like here, like mode JIT. But now we don't have to mention the mode JIT, or we don't have to mention the perk CSS, because instead of perk we have this content, and we have to include all our files here. And instead of that JIT mode, and now that mode is default in version 3 of Tailwind, so we don't have to do that as well. We need to be sure that our compiler, we can say, or builder should be running. So my watcher is running here, and it is watching all the changes in my files, which is just mentioned inside the content. So whenever I bring changes here, the builder will take that class from here and check it in the source folder of style.css inside this, and after that compile that down to my public folder inside the style.css. So let's see, we have about 689. So as you can see that here we have the text umber class at the end. And let's practice JIT mode, so that it will be like a miracle for you. So let's say adding a div and giving it a paragraph, some paragraph. And as you can see that we can just use the class. For example, we have text amber 700. That is easy, we can use that, and we can just check it on the browser. We have text amber. But what if we don't have a text amber level 800? So when I use this 800 here, we don't have the class here, but I've used it here in my HTML, and the watcher is running, and it will build this class with the help of Tailwind's directives in my source folder and with the JIT mode. So let's save and see here. As you can see that the class is just created in my final CSS file, which is in the public folder. So now whenever I want to take this project into production, I will not need to include this node modules, etc. I only need to take this public folder and this home file. But if I need some customization in production as well, so I have to take all this. This way your files will be filtered out of unused CSS, and will be with not huge but very less file size. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you very much.